Okay, so lesson 8.4 is multiplying special cases. Do you guys remember lesson 8.3 at all? I can't remember how lesson 8.3, it was multiplying binomials. Now, 8.4 is officially special cases, but here's the deal. If you know how to do 8.3, you know how to do 8.4. Does that make sense? You sound like you already know what I'm talking about here. So officially, like if you look like in a book or anything, they'll talk about, okay, if it's a square of a binomial, if it's a plus b quantity squared or a minus b, you know, they can give you this fancy, okay, here's the formula. Here's what I would recommend you think. What does a plus b quantity squared mean? That means you're going to do a plus b times what? Times another a plus b. Do we know how to do a plus b times a plus b? Isn't this FOIL or distribute what we were doing in lesson 8.3? Okay, so that's going to be my recommendation, is that when you see a parenthesis squared, you write it like this, where it's parenthesis times parenthesis, and then I like to say FOIL, but I'm not sure all of you guys are sold on FOIL, so the other word I can use is distribute. Distribute. I'm having spelling issues today. I'm having speaking issues today.
That's all right, it's spelling issues there. I thought I spelled it wrong. So I had to check on my phone if that was right.
Okay, so let's just jump into the first example, because you guys know how to do this. You guys were all doing this for me last week, and you're all going to do this with me today, right? Okay, so x plus 5, and I read this as quantity squared. But how should we really write this? X plus 5 times x plus 5. I would always make that your first step. As you go and do the work on your paper, make that your first step. Okay, so what do I do first? It's the first thing in each parenthesis, or you take this x and you start by distributing it to x. And what is x times x? X to the second. Because you keep the base of x and add the exponents. Hold on to that thought. I don't want to go there yet. I'm going to miss some stuff if I do that. So I do x times x, and then I'm going to do what you can call the outside if you want to think FOIL, or it's just taking the x and distributing it, right? We did x times x, and now x times 5. What is x times 5? Yeah, x times 5, 5 times x. You just smush them together, and it's 5x. So we did first, we did outside. Or in other words, we distributed this first x. Now, you can do inside, or you can distribute this 5, right? 5 times x, 5x. And then, last. So, we take the 5 times the one thing it hasn't been matched up with. 5 times 5 is 25. Just what I taught on Wednesday and Thursday, right? Okay. Now, always check your cleanup step. There's usually a cleanup step. What can I clean up here? Yeah. Look for like terms. In this case, 5x and x are both x terms, aren't they? So x squared is just going to carry down. What's 5x plus 5x? No. 5 plus 5? 10. If it's 5x's plus 5x's, that's just 10x's. And then don't forget to drop down your plus 25. Okay, so traditional multiplication there. You're going to have your x squared term first. You're going to have your number term last, and it's just and then figuring out what your middle terms are. Okay, does that sound a little familiar? Okay. Let's go with the next one. N minus 7 quantity squared. What's your teacher going to encourage you to do first? Okay. Rewrite this. Don't try and do it in your heads. N minus 7 squared means we're doing n minus 7 times n minus 7. I would. N times n, he says? Yeah. N to the second. Good. Well, what are you multiplying next?
7.
And I'm hoping you're talking about this 7 and n.
Yeah.
I don't know for sure, but okay, so we're just taking this n times n and then n times 7. And this is n times a minus 7, right?
Yeah.
So you take n times minus 7, smush them together, minus 7n. Okay, so we distributed the n. Now, insides. Okay. Minus 7n, or minus 7 times n, minus 7n. Watch for those signs, right? That can be one of the tricky parts. And okay. Last is the last thing in each parenthesis, or distribute that negative 7. Notice, I heard 7 times 7. What is negative 7 times negative 7? Half, right? A negative times negative is a positive. Am I done? No. Okay. Negative 7n minus 7n. No? What's negative 7 minus 7? There's a minus 14n in the middle. I still have n squared out front, and I still have plus 49 out back. Coming back to us?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go ahead and do one more from this section. And then we're going to jump down to the bottom section and at most, maybe 2 problems from the bottom. So 2x plus 9 squared means I'm going to do what?
2x plus 9
Okay.
Okay, so
What are we doing first?
first is the 2x and the 9. Oh, wait, no. First, 2x and 2x.
I'd prefer to start with 2x times 2x. And, I mean, I want to get technical. As long as you do all 4 pieces of multiplication, does it matter what order you do them in? It does not, technically. Now, I like to stay ordered, just, keep us all in the same place and everything. But so I would say, yeah, distribute the 2x. 2x times 2x. What is 2x times 2x?
4.
2 times 2 is 4. X times x is x to the second. This is why I threw this one in and didn't skip this one, because we got to throw in some numbers there. Okay? So first I did 2x times the 2x. Now?
2x, I'm sorry.
Okay, 2x times 9. 2 times 9 is 18. Stick the x on, so 18x. Okay, next.
Inside. Yeah, I said it backwards.
You can say, it is 2x times 9, isn't it? I mean, officially, we want to say 9 times 2x, but it's 2x times 9. Either way, it's going to give me another 18x. And?
1 times 9.
Which is? Okay.
Then we add 18 plus 18.
Mm-hmm. We're adding those middle terms, 18x plus 18x.
36.
Good. Did we do that without calculators, or did we grab the calculators?
I did it without.
Nice. 18 plus 18, that's a little bit bigger one that, In my brain, it's also the same as 4 times 9, because each 18 is 2 9s, but, okay, good. Okay. I avoided the ones in homework that have 2 variables. So I didn't want to, I just thought, I'm just going for the basics here. If we can do the basics, we're good, right? So I skipped things like this that have 2 variables in the same problem. You can thank me later. Or maybe it wouldn't have been a big deal. Who knows? But okay. Now, the other one we're going to talk about today is the product of a sum and a difference. And so as you'll look at these, it's basically the same thing in both parentheses, except one's positive, one's negative. And there's always going to be something special happen in the middle, in that the middle term will cancel out. Now, they're just saying, okay, you can memorize this shortcut, or, I don't know, I think you guys would probably be better off just FOILing every time, or distributing, rather than trying to memorize an extra special shortcut. I get the impression as long as you guys can do the basics, you're better off. So, let's practice. The directions are the same as above. Simplify the product. X times x, which is x to the second.
I was like,
maybe in your brain it was right, but you said 2x out loud, so your brain, you might have been thinking of the right thing. I don't know. Yeah. Okay, so x times x, x squared. Then, officially, we should say x and negative 9. X times negative 9 is going to be negative 9x. Okay, we did first and outside, or we distributed that x. Now, inside. Positive 9 times positive x plus 9x. And last. Nine times negative 9, which is negative 81. Yeah. Okay, so you're noticing we have to put the 9x's together. However, notice one of the 9x's is negative and the other's positive. What happens when you add a negative and a positive of the same number? 0. This is like saying 9 minus 9. Negative 9 plus 9 is 0. And so that means those middle terms are going to disappear, cancel out, leaving me with first x to the second minus 81. Now, if you notice the shortcut, you can learn that, oh, well, hey, These are the exact same parentheses, just opposite signs in the middle. My middle terms are going to cancel out, and I'm just going to have the first and the last term. Okay, that is a valid shortcut. But I also don't, I'm trying not to glue you guys down to shortcuts. So, okay, let's do the one on the right, and then I'll give you guys work time. Sound good?
So
3C to 3C. What is 3C times 3C? 9C to the second?
Yeah.
Okay. What comes after 3C times 3C? Okay, take that 3C over there. 3C times 4 is 12C. Now what?
So negative 4.
3C to the negative 4, or negative 4 to the 3C?
Yeah.
That's negative 12C. And lastly,
4. So 16.
4 times
Oh,
4.
that's 0.
It's 0.
No, wait. Hold on.
Yeah, I said it wrong. Sorry.
It's 4 times negative 4. First of all, a 4 times 4 is
Negative
16.
Yeah.
And negative times positive, this is negative 16. You can't, just because they're opposite signs doesn't mean they cancel when multiplying. They only cancel when adding. Okay, final answer here?
9C squared minus 16. The 12's cancel out, right?
Yep, 12 C's cancel out. You got it. Okay, I'm good with that. You guys know what you're doing. Okay, I'm not going to throw in the next two because I don't want to throw in, I just want to stick with the basics here. So your homework is in Math Excel. If it's not available yet, let me know and I can make it available real quick. I don't remember what time I had it becoming available. So I think I said 2:30, so I think it's available. I would get 8-4 done first because that's the one for full credit. And then if you still need to go back and finish anything else up, you can go back and finish those up. I would encourage you to use scrap paper as you work, right?
You have